Okay, we're here. Yay, we're live. Welcome to my patio. Welcome to my patio. Some of you have been here before on my patio. I'm trying to go over here. There we go. Some of you have been on my patio before. It is so beautiful outside today that I just couldn't be inside. Let me set up our comments. Hi, Beth. Hi. Let me set up our comments so that we are protected from you know who's. Okay, because I think Facebook has really done a great job about adding new protections so that we don't get you know who's on our time together. So, welcome. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's Mercury retrograde and deep breath, deep breath, because I'm really a person that believes that retrogrades are to our benefit. Retrogrades happen for, to bless us, to help us move forward. Retrogrades are part of our growth. And I do believe and understand that retrogrades are a giant pain in the butt. So, um, here is my new phone. I want to throw it across the room. I will not, because my incredible husband has done an amazing job of trying to get it all set up for me in a way that would make me less likely to throw the new expensive phone across the room. I am not a person that has a lot of this patience, and I do think it's so bananas that we bought this phone. It's a Google phone. I bought this phone like weeks ago, and Federal Express lost it or something. And we had to get Google they had to do the whole investigation, track it down, where to go, blah, blah, blah. And then they had to get Google to send us a new one. And so, of course, by the time it actually got to us, we're in retrograde. So, it has been, it's already been a couple of days that, he set it all up and we started working with it yesterday. So today's day 2, and I'm still not ready to switch over to the new phone because, I can't get all my apps set up and, it's all of this. And I got to just give huge amounts of gratitude to my amazing husband because he has the patience of a saint. And he really did take all this time to try and get everything moved over or copied over so that it would be an easy transition for me. It never is. So, because our phones are like part of us, right? And we do so much. For me, I do so much of my work through my phone. And phones, it's like an extension of our arm. You might as well like take off my arm and put on a new arm. But computers, oddly enough, computers are fine. Like I get a new computer, he gets it all set up for me. I put all my stuff on my drive. I plug in my drive. I'm good to go. Computers are fine. But the phone thing, and I'm reminding myself every day because this is Mercury retrograde is all about purging the things out and welcoming the things in new. And tarot card reading, you're going to go away. So, because we don't have spammers here. So it's been a very interesting experience because I've had my phone for a while, my current phone I've had for a while. So I share all of this because I always try to be very transparent with you. I have the ceiling fan going because it's hot out. I try always to be transparent with you about what's going on with us because always for me, the same things are going on, as for you. We're all struggling through retrograde and we're coming into the time of the new moon. So we're starting to feel that pull of gravity as we come down into that time of the new moon. So, and this is going to be a big new moon because this is a solar eclipse. So we just had the lunar eclipse. Now we're going to have the solar eclipse, and it's, there's a lot of heaviness to this new moon. So, went for my walk today and I was like, I can finish it. And so what I want to talk about today is breathing. I want to talk about self-care and patience because it's really important to allow yourself to rest where you are. And so if you have been, because there's been a lot of drama, you might have noticed, and I'm not necessarily even just talking about, the 2020 year, but okay, we came through all of that. But now we've got this eclectic and exciting energy of people want to go back and they want to get back to normal. Except the universe doesn't go back. The universe doesn't go back. We only go forward. So you have this time where things are opening up and people keep using that word back, and the universe doesn't understand about going back. Time only goes forward. Even with, the our my slinky, which you've seen me pull out a lot, the coil of time goes forward. And you've heard me talk about the Jeremy Bearimy use of time, explanation of time, which I love. If you've not seen from the show The Good Place, it's definitely worth binge watching. But Ted Danson's character explains about how time works. And I love this explanation because he says if you take the name Jeremy Bearimy and you write it in cursive, that you would have this explanation about how time works, because time goes forward, it loops around on itself, it comes back, and it's like working in cursive. And so where we are, we cannot go back. We can only go forward in a new way. Many, many things will feel familiar, and you're going to have these people who are trying to cling on behind them going, wait, I need to hold on to this thing. But that thing isn't there anymore because it's a new iteration of it. It's a new way. It's a new thing. You may go to your same favorite restaurant that you loved before the pandemic, and it's going to be a little bit different. Maybe the menu is different. A lot of places, shrunk their menu because they couldn't get ingredients and people weren't there and all of those things. So making sure the people behind me have pants on. So you have, things are going to be different, and that's okay. And so I know we have this excitement of going back, but at the same time, we should also have this excitement of going forward in a new way. So I'm excited to go to a restaurant that I like and experience it in a new way. And so it's just something to think about, because as we're so focused on trying to go back or trying to hold on to something that really doesn't exist anymore, we're draining energy out of ourselves because we're holding on to something that, like I said, it just doesn't exist anymore. And we're working so hard to reach back behind us instead of trying to experience same things, similar things in a new way, being open to new experiences. So here's my phone, being open to the new experience of my phone, even though it is, we're not there yet, right? And so you want to honor that. And so when I, sat down with my phone last night and I was trying to log into apps and set up passwords and make sure information had transferred over, that all the things that were in the app on one phone are in the app on the other phone. And when I got to a point where I was just like, I just can't do this anymore because my head's going to explode, I put it down rather than throwing it across the room. I put it down, I took a breath, I got up, I walked around, I walked away. And so we have to honor ourselves for where we are and not rush headlong into things that may not serve our highest and best good, or to ignore the lessons that we've learned in the past. And so we say, okay, I have learned, because of course then my current phone starts to do all these crazy things, which reminds me that it is full and getting old and slow. And I'm like, okay, so we hold on to phone. We remind ourselves that we need to go forward, because I literally said to my husband last night, I really don't want to do this. I'm just going to struggle through with the current phone. And he's like, are you sure? And so sure enough, this morning, my current phone was just like, I'm going to mess with you and show you why you need a new phone. So the universe is always trying to guide us and try to show us when we ask the question, and especially when we do something stupid. I thought I was being stupid. I'm not saying anyone else. I was being stupid about my phone, and I was just being petulant. Petulant's a great word. I was being petulant and not wanting to, go through all the rigmarole to get the new phone set up. And the universe said, well, we're going to remind you why you need a new phone. And so we stop and we breathe and we take a minute and we say, okay, what do I need to know from this situation? Okay, I've had enough. I need to respect where I'm at. I need to walk away, because we know that Mercury retrograde is always about screwing with our technology, first of all. And second of all, this particular retrograde is really on a lot about relationships. And I know, and communication, so much with communication. And so, because Mercury rules communication. Okay, so here's my husband and I. We have worked so hard on our communication, and a situation like this with the phone could have sent us into argument after argument, and we have not, because we have reminded ourselves to go slow, to rest our brain and our tempers, to walk away, put it aside. There's no rush for me to go into the new phone because blessedly the current phone has not collapsed or anything like that. It's just full and slow and a little older. So there's no rush for us to do this. We're doing it step by step. We're talking to each other. I'm sharing my concerns. He's sharing technical information and wisdom that he has that makes my eyes kind of glaze over. And so I'm trying to be present and he's trying to speak clearly. And we're meeting each other in the middle because Mercury retrograde, Mercury is all about communication. And when we get into retrograde, it's all about looking at the places where you've stumbled before and how can you more gracefully float over those places this time. So those places where I know we've stumbled before on previous phones, because I kind of remember, blocked a lot of it out when we moved into this current phone, the one that I'm using still. And he's like, oh yeah, that was a doozy. So we're trying to do better this time. So I want to share this with you. Again, I'm not sharing it with, to be like, oh, I got a new phone. But I want to share because it's important to understand that we're all going through the same things. And that even though we're in Mercury retrograde, and I talk a lot about allowing the retrograde to, float along and to bring us along and try and relax into the retrograde. And I feel like that is so important because Mercury retrograde gets such a bad rap. And we're going to be in this retrograde. Today's the 7th. We've got another 15 days, at least 2 weeks, right? That's math in my head. So 22 minus 7 is 14, 15. So we've got 2 more weeks of Mercury retrograde. So your choice is to walk around like this, right? Or your choice is to lean into that and say, okay, what is this retrograde here to show me? Because here's the thing. We always think that with retrograde, that Mercury retrograde is here to show us something bad. What if Mercury retrograde was here to show you something good? So one of the things my husband and I have been talking about is how far we've come in rebuilding our relationship and reestablishing, rebuilding our communication skills and really coming to know each other over the last several years in a very new way and treating each other in a very different way and really strengthening our relationship. But we're being tested. Of course, it's Mercury retrograde. Got a new phone. So this is definitely a test, but at the same time, the two of us are acknowledging the fact that we have really come a long way. So we go into Mercury retrograde with this sense of doom and gloom of what is going to fall on my head. But at the same time, you have the opportunity with Mercury retrograde to praise and gratify. I want to say be grateful of how far you have come. And I think that's one of the things that we sometimes forget to do is we forget to look back and say, we've really come a long way. And so that is also part of Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is also trying to remind you how far you have come and where are you going next? What is possible for you if you will open up and allow the universe to continue to expand for you? And so Jeremy Bearimy, right? We go around like on the Slinky, we go around. I've been here before. I've had this, thing with getting a new phone and having all that aggravation, but I'm coming around to that same experience again in a new place, in a new level, in a new way, in a new understanding, a new perception. And so even if those things are coming up for you again and again through the retrograde, and you're like, why does this keep coming up? Ask yourself what has changed. Look at the last time this situation came up to be able to say, hey, how far have I come? Where was I when this came up last time? What did I learn from that? What can I come and bring that, bring forward into this time? Because honestly, it may be coming up for you because the universe is going, good job, way to go. Look how far you have come. Because so often we don't take the time to pat our own selves on the back and say, look how far I came. Look how much growth I have experienced. Yes, we know there is more to come. Yes, we know there is more things we need to learn and experience and grow. And there is always more because this is a never-ending journey, right? We don't get to a finish line. We don't get to some grand, like, you did it, the idea is to get to the end of your human existence in this body and to say, it was an interesting ride. It was a great ride. I did a lot of great stuff. I learned a lot of stuff. Hopefully I brought light to the existence and not darkness to the existence. I brought blessing to people and not harm to people. That's the goal. There's no big old finish line like at the end of a race with the arc of balloons that says you did it. It's we keep walking until it's time for us to transition. So we never stop learning. We never stop going around the coil. We never stop going around the slinky. So all the things that you're experiencing now, they're going to come back to you. Jeremy Bearimy, time goes in this loop, right? So it's never going to be a thing like, okay, I've got my energy, I'm grounded, I've got my communication skills, what's next? It doesn't work like that. We continue to evolve. But because of that, and because society talks to us about, keep moving forward, we forget to look backwards. Now, I know what I said before, we can't go back. We can't go back. And people talking about going back to normal. We can't go back. But it's important to look back, not to cry about what we've lost, but to see how far we've come and to really assess what was back there that we may want to hold on to bring forward. What stuff is in my old phone that's really important for me to bring into my new phone? Is all of it? No, I don't need to bring all of that because all of this was stuff that was part of, the last 5 years. Do I need still that like ebook about, I don't know, something that I, downloaded because it was interesting at the time? Probably not, but I want to bring forward these things that were valuable, the things that are continuing to enhance my life, the things that are helping me continue to learn and grow. And the rest of it, I don't have to bury it in the yard, but I can put it to the side. I can put it, on a hard drive and let it just sit there where it's not going to, take up any space. And I'll know where it is when I need it. But looking back at how far we've come, letting go what does no longer serve us, and allowing that we are going to continue to come around and around and around to the same things over and over again, because it is the spiral. That is the way of life. That's why DNA is in that spiral. And if you've been following me for any kind of time, you've heard me talk about unspooling DNA, and I did not bring my slinky outside today. So I have my rainbow colored slinky that we keep on my desk. So when I start to talk about the circle of life, the cycle of life, and I don't mean, birds eat the worms and the bigger birds eat I'm not talking about and the lions eat. I'm not talking about that kind of circle of life. I'm talking about the circle of our life as we experience things and how we have energy and how we come back to those same experiences over and over again. It is that coil, right? And hopefully it's a coil that's going up. We're getting ever higher. We're going in each level each time we come around. We see that same experience again, like a birthday. What have I learned? Where am I going? We go around, we go up to the next level, up the next level, and each time we're vibrating at a higher level. So we're attracting more love, gratitude, and beautiful light into our lives. We're not going down into the everything sucks kind of vibration, because that's not where we want to go. We want to continue to evolve and go up, right? But at the same time, our DNA is that coil, right? You have the double helix. That ladder is spun like a coil. And when we are in that energy, our DNA closes up like the closed slinky. But when we stay in that place of love and gratitude, and there's lots of science about this, and you can, rewatch some of the old videos where I've talked about this before. But when we stay in love and gratitude, literally our DNA expands and extends so that we have more surface area, we have more engagement with the universe, we have more opportunity to connect with the higher, to create what we want to experience. So this morning, I've been out here all day on the patio. I walked and I did my exercises for my knee, and we went in this pool, and I've been working on the patio all day because it's lovely. Even though it's June, it's lovely out here, and I really enjoy because I don't know if you can. I can on Instagram I can't do this, but on Facebook I can do. So my backyard has lots of trees, lots and lots of trees, and I'm trying not to make you seasick, but lots and lots of trees back there, and lots of birds. And so I have bird feeders, and it's so lovely to be able to listen to the birds. And some days with the hawks and the jays, it's almost like watching Star Wars dogfighting up there, because they're chasing all around of each other, and it's a marvelous thing to sit out here and watch nature in the suburbs. And so today I said, as my husband and I were walking this morning, I said something, and I said, yeah, I need some kind of confirmation of that. And right then, this red cardinal flew right across my flew right across me and right up into a tree that was in front of me. And I thought, oh, all right, I hear you. I see that you're trying to give me this confirmation. And as I was sitting on the patio this afternoon and I was working and I was out here and I could hear the cardinal, they have a very distinctive chirp, and I could hear him. I said, I hear you. Where are you? So I walked over to look at some of the trees, and as I walked, and I couldn't find him. But as I was sitting here doing my work, I heard the chirping again, and I literally looked up, and right in front of me is this round tree, and in a hole in the leaves that is literally like from my eyeball. If you look up, that is where your eye is going to fall. There he was, and he popped in to say, "Here I am, here I am." And I had asked, show me where you are. Show me if you're trying to guide me, you're trying to tell me something, show me where you are. And so sometimes the messages from the universe are instantaneous and sometimes they're not. And it's okay for us to allow the powers that be to work out some stuff where he had to figure out how to get that bird they had to figure out how to get the bird in the tree where I'd be able to see it in a way that was safe for the bird. And so literally waited until my whole family was out here. My husband and I were hanging out. My kids had just, were come out. They were hanging out with us because they were having some lunch before they went off to do stuff for their day. And so all four of us were literally sitting out here on the patio when the bird showed up. So I know that this is about patience, right? So we look into retrograde and we have all these different messages that are coming in that is about be patient, ride the wave, relax into what the universe is trying to show you, walk away when you need to, honor your energy, especially as we're coming into the new moon, relax, rest when you need to, and take care so that you're listening to what the universe is trying to show you. But as we are reminded that we can't go back, but it's still important to look back so that we can look and say, look how far we've come and what things are back there that we want to make sure we hold on to and bring into the future. And so for me, with this retrograde, all about communication, and so many things opening up right now, and everybody talking about getting back to normal, these are the things that I think are really important to understand, is that we can't go back, but we can take some things with us as we go forward. And at the same time, it's so important to honor your words, honor your communication. And as you are we're getting into the new moon energy, which is it's a few days. I mean, the new moon is just a few days away, where we start to feel that depletion of being then that low energy from the new moon. Rest, because we're going to have that through this Mercury retrograde. And when we get into low energy, then we are going to get into places of we're going to get into that low energy, and we're going to get into places of exhaustion and energetic depletion, and that's when Mercury retrograde can get rough. So honor your energy, honor what it is that you need to do to take care of you as you are going forward. All right, so I want to grab our cards and see where we're at today. So, and thank you for hanging in there with me with that, because I open up to them for channeled information, and I don't always know what it is I'm supposed to share with you. I never know what I'm supposed to share with you, but whatever it is, I just let them speak through me for whatever it is that they want to make sure that you all get to hear. So, Beth, you've got a couple people that are making little hearts on your hello comment, and I'm wondering if these are people that are trying to also send you messages. So if you're having any kind of spam going on over there, let me know, and we'll be sure to take care of that. All right, so one more. Yay. Okay, so in our Oracle of the Seven Energies, oh, I love this. So in our Oracle of the Seven Energies, we have the Waking the Lion card. This is so magnificent because this is all about listening to yourself, your inner voice, that communication. This is about standing your ground, standing up for yourself, being true to yourself, which is all the things that we were just talking about. We look back, we give ourselves a pat on the back of how far we've come and what we are doing to help move forward. We can't go back, but how can we go forward? And this is about waking the lion, is how do I go forward as my strongest self? How do I go forward in my truest nature with my feet grounded on the ground? And how am I going to go forward in really hearing the loudest voices. We're talking about listening to the universe, welcoming those signs in. I talked about the cardinal. Waking the lion is knowing that our truest self is trying to come out, and also how we communicate. This is so important about how we're communicating with each other, because we want to stand in our feet, stand strong in our feet for who we are and what we are and where we're going and what we want to be. And waking the lion reminds us that we can be strong. We don't have to be aggressive or rude, because if you've ever seen lions, really until they're ready to pounce, they're pretty slow moving creatures, and they're very methodical, and they listen to what is going on around them, and they really pay attention. And so this is what we're being called to do, is to really pay attention to those signs and signals around us, so that we are moving forward in the best way for us, listening to the retrograde, listening to what it is trying to show us and share with us. Right? All right, so we're going to check out and see which of our goddesses is with us today. I just try to do the shuffles right so you can hear them, because I never want you to think I've pulled the cards in advance, because I don't think that that's how it's supposed to go. All right, so in our goddess power, we have Ma'at. So we're going to grab the book for her, and I remembered to bring my glasses out here, so that's important. So we're going to look for her Ma'at, because I am not familiar enough with her, but I do love the fact that it says truth, that she is the goddess of truth. How important is that? Because here we're talking about following our truest self, listening to our truest voices, and really being, looking at what is important for us for behind to bring forward. What is true for us? What is our communication? What relationships, what places do we need to hold on to? What places do we need to let go of? And how do we move forward in our most authentic self? So I love that as we're having Waking the Lion, at the same time, we're being reminded that we want to stay in our truth, staying in our highest power as we are being called to move forward. It says there's great power in telling the truth and allowing it to lead you to higher ground. It's only when we refuse to see the reality of a situation that we lose our power to co-create for the highest good. The Egyptian goddess Ma'at comes to remind you that if you're willing to do a fearless self-inventory and live authentically with your rigorous honesty, it will lead you to great success. There you go. It'll lead you to great success in all areas of your life. That is one of the risks of being outside, is that if a neighbor happens to step into their yard, we're going to hear all about it. Toby. Toby, come here, honey. Toby. He is 11 pounds of fury, and he will protect me with his dying breath. So, all right. So I love that we are being shown Waking the Lion, and that that's my husband and my son back over there. If you're seeing people inside, I love that we're being called to Waking the Lion, and that we're also being called to speak, in our truth, to really stand in our truth. And that is one of the biggest things about Mercury retrograde, is really wants you to assess what is true for you. Go inside. What is true for you? And so we have, so here we are in the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle card deck. This is deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be healed, be held. This is so important. So we've been talking about honoring your energy as you are going forward, because the new moon is coming. There's going to be this solar eclipse. We know it's low energy, that we can feel that drag, that gravity is heavier as we get into this new moon. It feels that way. So really making sure that you are taking care of yourself. So we have Waking the Lion, so that we are moving forward with methodical movements. We're moving forward, listening to what's going on around us, and we're standing in our truest self. And Ma'at comes to remind us about the truth of who we are, the truth of what we want, the truth of what we will accept in our lives, and the truth of where we're going. And then you're reminded to self-care. Self-care is so incredibly important, especially as we're going into this time of the new moon. Really rest, allow yourself to regenerate, to stand in your power, to stay grounded. But when you need to rest, when you need to walk away, you heard me say I didn't want to throw the phone across the room. I had to walk away. I had to close my eyes. I had to do a little breath work. I had to really breathe about it. that self-care and tuning into self is so important. And so then we have Mintakin, longing for home, belonging. These are the original light workers, right? The original light workers. This is reminding you that you are not alone, that you are surrounded with all the people around you who are believing what you're believing, who are going where you're going, which is why I was so called to tell you what's going on with me. I'm sure you don't really care that I got a new phone. I mean, who really cares? You don't need to know that. But what you need to know is that I'm going through the same things that you're going through. And so as we continue to work through our retrograde and we continue to work on finding our truth and listening to our truth as we're standing in our highest energies, we are not alone. We are surrounded by those who have come before us, who have walked this path and paved the way for us. And then I literally just said, walk this path and pave the way for us. And so this last card comes in and it says, trust your path. Trust your path. Trust that you are going exactly, Jeremy Bearimy, in the right direction. You are going in the right direction because there's no way to not be going in the right direction. You may seem like you're going backwards because you've got, squiggles and forwards and backwards, but it always comes back around frontwards. It always goes forward because we can't go back. Time doesn't go back. You may loop around and have opportunities. If you missed it, it'll come around again. There are always going to be the opportunities for you to go forward and try again because time only goes forward. One of the things that was so hard for me when my twin passed away, because if you have followed my story with him at all, you may remember that while we did grow up together, we didn't see each other face to face for decades. And even though we were communicating and we were connected and we were having our twin complications and energy and whatever that relationship was through all the ups and downs, we only had the opportunity to be face to face, live and in person one time. So I had gone to Texas for work. We spent 2 afternoons together. We went to lunch, we walked around, we hung out, we got to talk to each other, we got to get to know each other a little bit. And then like 14 months later, he was gone. So there was never another opportunity for us to meet face to face. And for me, that was devastating because I thought we would, of course, have another opportunity to talk and try and move forward and try and, build a relationship and understand our connection and all these different things. Didn't happen because he died. But what's so fantastic and so fascinating is over this time of the year and a half that he's been gone, now we're building the relationship that we just couldn't have while he was here in flesh and in the physical form, because we just couldn't, the vibration wasn't in alignment. We weren't ready to connect with each other. But the relationship that we both wanted to have, we're able to have now. So does it look like what I thought it would look like? No. But is it better? Yeah, in a lot of ways it is. So we didn't miss the opportunity. It looped back around on itself to create another door opening for us to be able to move forward because time only goes forward. So we recap. We are waking the lion as we are starting to stand in our truth, to stand in. This is what is about Mercury retrograde, is really listening to what the universe is trying to tell you, really working to understand what the universe is trying to show you, because the Mercury retrograde is all about communication and looking back at what is important and bringing those things that are important to take with you as you go forward, taking those things with you, because we can't go back. But waking the lion is so much about paying attention to what's going on around you. What is the universe trying to tell you? What is the universe trying to show you? But standing in your truth with Ma'at, you are reminded to stand in your truth, to stay in the light, to listen to what the universe is trying to show you and what feels resonant in your truth about who you are and who you want to be. Remembering that you are 100% supported. Mintonkin, we are so supported by the people and the beings who have gone before us. We are supported. We are never alone. Never alone. Trusting your path. No, we had rest, deep replenishment. Rest when you need to. Rest when you need to. Rest when you need to. Okay. because we can't just continue to go and go and go and go, especially in this time as things are opening up. We know that people are rushing back into the workplace. They're rushing back into, into how it was, right? Rest, relax, feel yourself going forward one step at a time, and trust your path. Trust your path. You are never alone. You are on the right track. You are going in the right direction. Even if it feels like it's gone backwards, Jeremy, bear me, we're going to loop back around to go forward. Beth, I see your question. Congratulations on a job offer. Hello, Robin. Thank you so much for posting. Hello, hello, hello. I want to say, boy, it feels job offer. I kind of like it, Beth. I don't feel like it's exactly what you were hoping for or expecting, but I kind of like it. I kind of think it feels like a new adventure, a newer adventure for you. I feel like it has the opportunity to, there's something unexpected about it, Beth. And I kind of like it. And so I would say lean into it. I pulled a card for you just as I asked the question. And it's the inner temple, tune into the portal of your heart. So how do you feel about it? But I feel like there's something unexpected about it. But I feel like there's something so interesting about it that just got this opportunity for you to grow, but there is this unexpected energy about it. Like, I feel like it's not the place where you thought you would be. And I feel like there is this opportunity for you to grow, but there's something that's like a pleasant surprise is what I'm hearing in my head, is pleasant surprise. So I'm really going to be very interested to hear how that turns out for you. But I do feel like it feels positive to me. And so let me know what happens, because I like it. I don't feel any kind of physical like knot in my stomach or headache or any kind of like negative energy about it. I definitely feel like there's something pleasant and positive and unexpected. And I just keep coming back to pleasant surprise. Okay, nervous but good. All right, well, let me know what happens. Let me know what happens. All right. I am so delighted to have this time to share with you. And I want to always to say thank you for all of you who've joined us, whether on Facebook or Instagram. And thank you, Robin, for having my back always with promoting and putting up the announcements. I really appreciate that so much. And I am so looking forward to sharing some time with you again next week and also on Wednesday. So we have meditation on Wednesday night. Please don't hesitate to join us right here, 7 o'clock on Wednesday. And we also have our next June event for the psychic mediums. Is our group event is going to be later in June. I think it's the 24th, but stand by. We'll be getting the meme up, save the date. We'll be getting that posted for you shortly as well. So I'm so excited. We're going to have everybody back together. We're getting the band back together for the psychic mediums here on Facebook. I'm sorry, Instagram. That'll be Facebook only. But we're really excited to have everyone back together for June and be able to do readings and share some information and some teachings and some channeled wisdom. It's going to be a great event. It's always a great event, and I truly hope you'll be able to join us for that. And I want to say thank you so much for spending some time. I do want to say one more thing is we did leave the enrollment open for becoming an empowered empath. We had a couple people who've just been coming along, and it seems to be working better. So if you had been wondering about the online enrollment for the online course of becoming an empowered empath, we decided to leave that open because people are just kind of coming into it and working at their pace, and that seems to be a much better fit for folks. So we're just going to leave it open. So if you've been curious about that class, definitely head over to Dworkin-Smith Learn and check that out as well. So I want to, and Robin has fantastically graciously posted my link tree, which has all that information on there as well. So I want to say thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon. Enjoy the beautiful weather. If it's beautiful where you are, try and get outside. Please make sure that while we're in Mercury retrograde, you keep your feet on the earth, you're drinking plenty of water, and get rest. We are moving into the new moon energy, and it's going to feel depleted as we go forward for these next few days because the new moon is coming in just a couple more days. So make sure that you are taking that time to really rest and replenish. Thank you, Robin, for posting the Psychic Squares group. If you are not already a member of that group, definitely head over to the Facebook group Psychic Squares 2021. Get approved to be a member of that group immediately so that when we have our live event, our group live event, you're going to be right there ready to participate in that conversation and get some great readings from some amazing psychics, readers, mediums, card readers, intuitives, animal communicators, just an amazing group of people. All right, thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your week. Remember, waken the lion, stay in your truth, right? Take care of you. Mercury retrograde, gonna get through just fine. Mwah. Love you.